We tell stories of human way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFY without humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name is Amir Sohal. Let's begin. The Desperate Call *** written in 3RD person, simple English, highly engaging, suspenseful, and designed for YouTube narration backhand index pointing down. Colon. Writing variant equals standard, ID equals 58392 part 1. The desperate call to stars were silent, cold, endless, watching, far away from Earth, on a dark mining planet. Thousands of humans worked under a burning sky. Chains of metal locked their hands. Heavy machines roared all day and night. No one rested. No one spoke. Above them, tall alien guards stood like shadows. Their glowing eyes watched every move. To them, humans were nothing, just slaves. Weak, broken, finished. But they were wrong. Very wrong. Ethan Cole lifted another heavy metal crate. His hands were bleeding, but he did not stop. No one stopped. Stopping meant punishment. And punishment here was death. An alien guard walked past him. Its voice was sharp and cold. Move faster, human. Ethan lowered his head. He said nothing. Like the others. That is what the aliens believed. Humans had forgotten how to fight. But deep inside, something was still alive. Something dangerous. That night, the camp lights dimmed. It was the only time humans got a few hours to sleep. Rows of metal cages opened, and the slaves slowly walked inside. No talking, no looking around. But Ethan did something different. He waited, carefully, slowly. When the guards turned away, he slipped behind a broken wall. There, hidden in the darkness, a small group was already waiting. 6 humans, all quiet, all serious. One of them stepped forward. Her name was Mara. "Did anyone follow you?" she whispered. Ethan shook his head. "No," another man spoke. His voice was rough. "We don't have much time." Mara nodded. "Then we start." From under torn clothes, Mara pulled out something small. A device. Old. Broken looking. But it was not useless. It was hope. "This," she said quietly, "is a communicator." The group stared at it. Ethan frowned. That shouldn't work. They destroyed all tech. Mara gave a small smile. They destroyed what they could see. She looked around. But they don't see everything. Ethan felt something change inside him. For the first time in years, he felt it. Hope. "We found parts," Mara continued, "from broken machines, from old ships, piece by piece." The rough man crossed his arms. "And it works." Mara looked down at the device. "It will." Silence filled the space. Then Ethan spoke. "If this works, who are we calling?" Mara looked at him. Her eyes were strong. "Home." The word hit everyone like a shock. Home. Earth. A place they had not seen in years. A place they thought was gone. "They told us Earth fell," Ethan said slowly. Mara nodded. "They told us many lies." She turned the device on. Nothing happened at first. Just silence. Then, a soft light blinked. Once. Twice. Everyone froze. No one moved. No one breathed. "It's working," someone whispered. Mara adjusted the device carefully. Her hands were shaking now. "This is our only chance," she said. "If Earth is still alive, they need to know." She pressed a button. Static filled the air. Loud. Sharp. Dangerous. Ethan looked toward the guards. They will hear this. Mara didn't stop. They won't understand it in time. The static grew louder. Then, a voice. Weak. Broken. But real. Signal detected. Everyone stared. Eyes wide. Hearts racing. "Identify source." Mara stepped closer to the device. Her voice was steady now. Strong. "This is Mara, human survivor. Slave Camp 47. She paused. Tears filled her eyes. "We are alive." Silence. Then the voice came back. Stronger this time. "Repeat, you're alive?" Ethan felt his chest tighten. They heard them. Someone heard them. Mara nodded, even though they could not see her. "Yes, we are alive. Thousands of us. Maybe more." She took a breath. "They took us. They made us slaves." But we are still here. The signal crackled. Then, hold position. We thought all colonies were lost. The group looked at each other. Lost? What did that mean? Mara leaned closer. Who is this? Identify yourself. There was a pause. A long pause. Then the answer came. This is Earth Command. Everything stopped. For a moment, no one believed it. Ethan stepped forward. That's not possible, he whispered. Mara's hands trembled. Earth survived. The voice came again. Clearer now. Stronger. Earth stands. And we are not alone. A strange feeling filled the room. Not fear. Not sadness. Something else. Something powerful. Hope turned into fire. But suddenly, an alarm screamed. Loud. Sharp. Dangerous. The guards had heard something. Ethan turned. They know. Heavy footsteps echoed outside. The walls shook. Voices shouted in alien language. Mara grabbed the device. We don't have time. The voice on the communicator rushed. We are sending coordinates. Prepare for... The signal cut. Gone. The room fell silent again. But not the same silence as before. This silence was full of tension. Full of danger. The door exploded open. Alien guards rushed in. Weapons raised. Eyes glowing with anger. One of them pointed at Mara. Illegal device detected. Ethan stepped in front of her. Without thinking, the guard raised its weapon. Step aside, human. Ethan didn't move. For years he had been silent. For years he had obeyed. Not anymore. No, he said. The word shocked everyone. Even the other humans. The guard paused. Confused. Angry. You will be punished. Ethan looked at it. Straight in the eyes. Something had changed. Inside him. Inside all of them. You think we are weak, Ethan said slowly. You think we forgot who we are. More guards entered. Weapons ready. Mara stepped beside Ethan. Then another human. Then another. 6 slaves. Standing together. The guard laughed. A cold, cruel sound. You are nothing. Ethan smiled. A small, dangerous smile. Not anymore. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Machines outside stopped. Power systems failed. The guards looked around. Confused. What is happening? Ethan looked at Mara. Mara nodded. Phase 1, she whispered. Ethan turned back to the guards. His voice was calm. Cold. Now we begin. Far away in space, something moved. Something big. Something powerful. Earth had heard the call. And Earth was coming. The slaves were no longer waiting. They were preparing. For war. The hidden fire. The alarms did not stop. Red lights flashed across the entire slave camp. Sirens screamed into the dark sky. The ground itself seemed to shake as heavy machines shut down one by one. For the first time in years, the system was failing, and the aliens were afraid. Ethan stood still, watching the guards panic. That alone felt strange. For so long, humans had feared them. Now it was the opposite. Secure the area, one alien shouted. Find the source of the malfunction. But they were already too late. Deep under the camp, hidden behind walls and broken tunnels, something had been growing for years. A secret, a plan, a fire. Mara grabbed Ethan's arm. We need to move. Now. The group ran through narrow paths between metal structures. Smoke filled the air. Sparks fell from broken cables above them. All around, systems were crashing. Doors locked. Lights died. Machines stopped. This is bigger than us, Ethan said. Mara nodded. It was always bigger than us. They reached a hidden entrance. A small opening behind a destroyed wall. Mara pressed her hand against it. The wall slid open. Inside was something no one would expect. A hidden base. Not large. Not perfect. But alive. Dozens of humans moved quickly inside. Some carried weapons. Others worked on machines. Screens flickered with strange symbols. This was not a slave camp. This was a resistance. Ethan looked around, shocked. All this time, a man stepped forward. Tall, strong, old scars on his face. His eyes were sharp. Welcome back, he said. Mara gave a small smile. Commander Hale. Ethan froze. Commander? Hale looked at Ethan. You're the one who stood up to the guards. Ethan said nothing. Hale nodded slowly. Good. We need more like you. He turned to the room. Status report. A young woman spoke quickly. Power grid is down across 60% of the camp. Security systems are blind. Communication towers are failing. Another voice added, We have control for now. Hale's face remained serious. For now is not enough. He looked at everyone. This is the moment we waited for. Silence filled the room. Every human listened. Every heart beat faster. For years, Hale continued, we watched them. We learned their systems, their patterns, their weakness. He pointed to a screen. Alien structures appeared on it. Ships, bases, control towers. They thought we were broken. He paused. They never saw us learning. Ethan felt it again. That fire, growing stronger. Mara stepped forward. We made contact with Earth. The room went completely silent. Hale turned slowly. What? They are alive, Mara said. And they are coming. A wave of emotion spread through the room. Shock, hope, fear. Hale closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them, stronger than before. Then we don't wait. He looked at everyone. We fight. The room came alive. People moved faster. Weapons were checked. Plans were activated. Ethan stood there, still trying to understand everything. This is really happening. Mara looked at him. Yes. She handed him something. A weapon. Ethan stared at it. I don't know how to use this. Mara smiled slightly. You will? Outside, the aliens were trying to regain control. Ships hovered above the camp. Troops moved in groups. Orders were shouted again and again, but nothing worked. Systems kept failing. Signals kept breaking. Power kept dropping. It's spreading, one alien officer shouted. This is not random. Another one said, it's the humans. The first officer turned sharply. That's impossible. But deep down, they knew, back inside the hidden base. Hale stood in front of a large screen. This is our first target. An image appeared, a control tower. This tower controls security for half the planet. If we destroy it, they go blind. He looked at the group. This is not a test. This is war. Ethan tightened his grip on the weapon. His hand still hurt. But now he didn't feel the pain. He felt ready. Move out, Hale ordered. The team moved through underground tunnels. Dark, silent, dangerous. Ethan walked beside Mara. Are we enough? He asked quietly. Mara didn't look at him. We don't need to be enough. She paused. We just need to start. They reached the surface. Night covered the land. Alien ships filled the sky. The tower stood in the distance. Tall, bright, guarded. Hale raised his hand. Positions. Everyone spread out. Weapons ready. Breathing slow. Ethan hid behind a broken machine. His heart was racing. This is it, he whispered. Mara's voice came through a small device. Wait for the signal. Seconds felt like hours. Then, now. Everything exploded into action. Gunfire lit up the darkness. Explosions shook the ground. Aliens shouted in panic. Ethan fired his weapon. The recoil shocked him, but he didn't stop. For the first time, he was fighting back. Humans moved like shadows. Fast, smart, precise. Years of planning now in motion. The tower defenses activated. Energy shields flickered on. Hale shouted, Bring it down! A massive blast hit the shield. Cracks formed. Again! Another explosion. The shield shattered. Go! Hale yelled. Mara ran forward. She placed a device at the base of the tower. Charge set. Ethan covered her. Aliens rushed toward them. Too many, someone shouted. Hale's voice was calm. Hold the line. Ethan stood his ground. He didn't run. Not this time. Mara activated the device. Fall back. Everyone ran. A second later, boom. The tower exploded. Fire rose into the sky. Metal collapsed. Lights died. Silence followed. Then, chaos. All across the planet. Systems went dark. Alien ships lost control. Weapons shut down. Communication ended. They were blind. Ethan looked at the burning tower, breathing hard. We did it! Mara nodded. This is just the beginning. Far above them, in deep space, a fleet moved silently. Massive ships, unknown power. Earth was getting closer, and the war had officially begun. Hale looked at the sky, then at his people. They called us slaves. He paused. A small smile appeared. Now they will learn. Slaves can burn empires. The fire had started, and it would not stop. The war ignites. The fire spread faster than anyone expected. The destroyed tower was only the beginning. Across the planet, more systems began to fail. Lights went out. Shields dropped. Communication lines died one after another. The alien empire was losing control. Ethan stood on a broken ridge, looking at the burning remains of the tower. Smoke rose into the dark sky, like a signal of war. Behind him, the human resistance gathered. Some were injured, some were tired, but none of them looked afraid anymore. Mara walked up beside him. They are regrouping, she said quietly. Ethan nodded. They won't stay confused for long. Mara looked at the sky. And when they understand, they will come for us. Far above the planet, inside a massive alien warship, the Emperor watched everything. His face was calm. Too calm. Explain, he said. An officer stepped forward, shaking. Your Majesty, the humans have taken control of multiple systems. We are losing ground. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. Losing to slaves? No one answered. The Emperor stood up slowly. Send the Iron Fleet. The room froze. That fleet is forbidden. One officer tried to speak. The Emperor turned. Not anymore. His voice became cold. Erase them. Back on the planet. The humans did not know what was coming, but they felt something change. The air itself felt heavier, like a storm was coming. Commander Hale stood in the center of the base. We don't stop now, he said. We push forward. A map appeared on the screen. Red points marked alien bases. They are weak right now. This is our chance. Ethan stepped forward. And after that, Hale looked at him. After that, they hit back. The next attack came quickly. Human teams moved across the land. Small groups. Fast strikes. They destroyed supply lines. Captured weapons. Freed more human slaves. Every victory made them stronger. Ethan led one of the teams. Just days ago, he was a slave. Now he was a soldier. Clear! He shouted as they entered another camp. Humans inside looked at them in shock. Chains still on their hands. Eyes full of fear. It's over, Ethan said. You're free. Some of them didn't move. They couldn't believe it. Mara stepped forward. It's real, she said softly. We are fighting back. Slowly, the freed humans joined them. The resistance grew, but the aliens were not finished. The sky darkened. A deep sound filled the air. Low, heavy, terrifying. Ethan looked up. What is that? Mara's face changed. I don't know. Then they saw it. Ships, huge, black, silent, dozens of them. They blocked the stars. Hale's voice came through the communicator. All units, fall back. Now. Ethan felt a chill. This was different. Very different. The Iron Fleet had arrived. The ships did not attack right away. They just hovered, watching, waiting. Then, one of them fired. A single beam of light hit the ground. An entire mountain disappeared. Ethan stepped back. No! Another shot. A human outpost gone. Panic spread. These are not normal ships, someone shouted. Mara grabbed Ethan. We can't fight this head on. Inside the alien warship, the Emperor smiled. Let them feel fear again. Back on the ground, Hale stood firm. Listen to me, he shouted. Everyone turned to him. We knew this would happen. He pointed to the sky. They think this will end us. He shook his head. They are wrong. Ethan looked at him. How do we stop that? Hale's eyes were sharp. We don't. Ethan froze. Hale continued. We survive it. The attacks continued. Explosions everywhere. Fire. Smoke. Destruction. Humans ran. Some fought. Some fell. Ethan and Mara moved through the chaos, helping survivors, fighting when they had to. But it was not enough. The Iron Fleet was too strong. "This is not a war," Ethan said. "This is destruction." Mara looked at him. "No." She pointed to the sky. "This is their fear." Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Hale's voice changed. "Wait, I'm picking up something." Everyone paused. Multiple signatures, incoming fast. Ethan looked up again. More ships? But these were different. They were smaller, faster, and they were not alien. Mara's eyes widened. "Is that?" Far above, the new fleet moved with purpose. Clean lines, bright engines, weapons ready. A voice echoed across all human channels. Strong, clear, familiar. "This is Earth Command." Ethan felt his heart stop. "We receive your signal." Mara whispered. "They came," the voice continued, "and we are not alone." More ships appeared behind them, different designs, different lights. Allies. The Iron Fleet turned. For the first time, they reacted. A new battle began. Space lit up with fire. Explosions filled the sky. Ships moved at impossible speed. Ethan watched from the ground. This was bigger than anything he imagined. "We are part of something larger now," he said. Mara nodded. "Yes." But the fight was not over. One of the Iron Fleet ships broke through. It moved toward the planet. Toward them. Hale's voice came fast. "All units, prepare for impact." The massive ship began to descend. Ethan gripped his weapon. "They're coming here." Mara stood beside him. "Then we stand." The ground shook. The ship landed with force. Dust filled the air. A door opened. Something stepped out, not like the others. Bigger, stronger, more dangerous. A new enemy. Ethan took a deep breath. "This is it." Mara nodded. Behind them, humans gathered. In front of them, the enemy advanced. And above them, the war for the stars burned. Ethan stepped forward. No more running. The others followed. The war had truly begun. And this time, humans were ready. The ground trembled under the weight of the enemy. Dust and smoke filled the air as the massive alien warship settled on the broken land. Its metal surface glowed with dark energy. The door slowly opened, releasing a deep, echoing sound that felt alive. Every human stood still, waiting, watching. Then it stepped out. The creature was not like the other aliens. It was taller, heavier, covered in black armor that looked fused to its body. Its eyes burned like fire. This was not a soldier. This was a weapon. Ethan tightened his grip on his weapon. "What is that?" he whispered. Mara's voice was low, something they saved for the end. Behind them, more humans gathered. Freed slaves, fighters, survivors. They were tired. They were wounded, but they did not step back. Commander Hale walked forward, slow, calm, fearless. "This is their last move," he said. The creature moved closer. Each step cracked the ground. Then it spoke. Its voice was deep and heavy. "You resist beyond expectation." Ethan felt a chill. It could speak their language. Hale didn't react. "You made one mistake," he said. The creature tilted its head. Hale's eyes burned with quiet fire. "You let us live." Silence. Then the creature attacked. It moved faster than anything Ethan had ever seen. In a single moment, it crossed a distance. Boom. The ground exploded where it landed. Humans were thrown back. Weapons fired. Nothing stopped it. "Spread out," Hale shouted. Ethan rolled aside as the creature struck again. Metal shattered. Rocks broke like glass. "This thing is unstoppable," someone yelled. Mara fired again and again. "No, everything has a weakness." Above them, the war in space raged. Earth ships clashed with the Iron Fleet. Bright beams cut through darkness. Explosions lit up the sky like burning stars. A voice echoed through all human channels. "This is Admiral Reyes of Earth Command." Her voice was strong, calm under pressure. "All ground forces, hold your position. We are pushing them back." Ethan looked up. Hope flickered again. Back on the ground, the creature grabbed a human and threw him across the field. Ethan felt anger rise inside him. Not fear. Not anymore. Enough, he said. He stood up, faced the monster. Mara saw him. Ethan, wait! But he didn't stop. For years, he had been nothing. A slave. A number. A shadow. Not anymore. He ran forward. The creature turned toward him. Ethan fired. Again. 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 The shots hit his armor. No damage. The creature raised its arm and struck. Ethan flew back. Pain exploded through his body. He hit the ground hard. Everything went quiet for a moment. Mara ran to him. Ethan! He coughed, struggled to breathe. I'm not done. Commander Hale watched the fight, thinking, watching every move. Then he saw it. A small detail. A small weakness. The chest, he shouted. There's a core. Mara looked. For a second, during its movement, a small light appeared under the armor. That's it, she whispered. Everyone. Hale shouted. Focus fire on the chest. Humans regrouped. Weapons aimed. The creature charged again. Now! Hale yelled. All weapons fired at once. The creature roared. For the first time, it felt pain. The armor cracked. Again! Mara shouted. More shots. More hits. The light grew unstable. The creature stumbled. Ethan forced himself up. Every part of his body hurt. But he saw it. The end. He looked at Mara. She nodded. Together, they moved. Ethan ran straight at the creature. It turned, raised its arm. But Mara fired at its core. The creature staggered. Ethan jumped. With everything he had left, he drove his weapon forward, straight into the glowing core. Silence. For 1 second, everything stopped. Then, boom, a massive explosion. The creature shattered. Its body collapsed into burning pieces. The ground shook. Smoke filled the air. And then, silence. It was over. Ethan fell to his knees, breathing hard. Mara stood beside him. We did it! Above them, the final battle ended. The Iron Fleet retreated. Damaged. Broken. Earth ships held the sky. The war was won. Days later, the camps were gone. The chains were broken. Humans walked free. For the first time in years, ships landed across the planet. Earth forces arrived, helping, healing, rebuilding. Ethan stood on a hill, looking at the horizon. Mara joined him. It's really over. Ethan nodded slowly. They called us slaves. He looked at his hands. No chains. Then he looked at the sky, at the stars. Mara smiled. And now, Ethan took a deep breath. Now, a small smile appeared on his face. They will remember us. Far away, in the ruins of the alien empire, a signal was sent. One last message. Humans are not weak. Back on the planet, Ethan turned away from the past, toward the future. A future they fought for. A future they earned. The galaxy had changed. Forever. And one truth remained. They called them slaves. But in the end, they became legends. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.